Let's move to the Western Cape now, where there's been a protest at Bergville Primary School in Bishop Lavis this morning. Members of the governing body, as well as teachers, parents and pupils, took part in the demonstration. And some of the issues they wanted to raise include overcrowding and unsafe learning conditions due to gangsterism in the area. ENCA's Artie Mtongana is at the school and joins us now live. Now, Artie, I remember doing a crossing to you just last year where we had the shutdown protests happening in the area of Bishop Lavis specifically. And those same pupils, but this time including teachers as well as a governing body at the school, again wanting to raise the importance of safety and security so that pupils can be in a safe environment to best go about their education.
That's correct. Deeply plaguing this community of Bishop Lavis is gangsterism and a lot of violence. And in fact, when I spoke to some of the teachers here at this particular primary school, they mentioned how it's so difficult to actually teach these pupils as a result of what they see out there on the streets. They're saying to us that these pupils are finding it very difficult to concentrate. They get very much distracted, and they also come from abusive homes, so they do not have counseling. So those are just some of the issues that were raised by some of the teachers that I managed to speak to. However, the peaceful shutdown, or rather the picket that the Bishop Lavis Action Community staged at the school is currently over. They stood in front of the school with placards raising awareness about school safety, and more importantly saying that the teacher ratio in the schools needs to be looked at. They're saying the Western Cape Education Department has failed to provide enough teachers for schools like this one in Bishop Lavis, saying that, for example, right now we are in the school hall where it's supposed to be used for purposes related to hall facilities. It is also supposed to be used for feeding the pupils in the school. There's over 400 pupils in the school with less than 20 teachers. Now behind me, Miss Adams is teaching a class of 70 pupils alone, with 2 assisting teachers who are not even qualified.
It must be very, very difficult to be able to focus on a curriculum that they need to get through and where they need to meet certain targets academically when you're dealing with children who have to walk home, potentially getting caught in gang fights, the socioeconomic issues at home involved. What are some of the stories that you're hearing from these teachers that they know that their children have to deal with, and how are they actually dealing with these issues before focusing on your 1 + 1 = 2 and your ABCs?
The problem here is that there is no way that they can say that there is a solution in terms of counseling, for instance. The teachers were saying to me there's no counseling whatsoever for what these children face on a daily basis, for what they see on a daily basis. There's so little teachers in the school that even getting these pupils inside this hall was very difficult. It was a bit chaotic. They had to get assistance from the parents themselves to be able to control these little people here to come in on their first day of school, with a lot of media as well coming here to see exactly what happens at the school in Bishop Lavis. So the parents are saying, as well as the teachers and the governing body and the Bishop Lavis Action Community, that there is no action taken towards making sure that what these children see out there is dealt with. And on top of that, when they get to these classrooms, there's one teacher looking at them, over 70 pupils in one class, and little attention is given to these pupils at the end of the day individually to be able to assess their progress. Some parents were saying to me that this does affect their children academically in their performance, because really Miss Adams here is basically teaching these pupils alone with only 2 unqualified assisting teachers to try and help, because the situation is not good, as they put it.
It seems that there's a multidisciplinary issue here, and therefore it needs a multidisciplinary response. Have we heard anything from the Western Cape Department of Education in response to these issues raised by that community?
I'm turning right now to have a look at whether the school principal is still here. He was here a few minutes ago. We spoke to him off record and he told us about these issues that I just highlighted. And as we were about to interview him, the education department, which was here to receive the memorandum, in fact, representatives from the department that were here to receive the memorandum, barred him from speaking to the media when he was earlier on, speaking and raising these grievances together with the people that were staging the protests outside the school. So now he's told not to speak to the media, and the representatives that were here are also not willing to speak to the media, referring us to the Western Cape Education Department. And in fact, Debbie Fisher, who is the MEC for education in this province, will be at our studios later on to answer about the grievances and the challenges that face not only this primary school, but many primary schools that are plagued by gangsterism, violence and teacher shortage.
We'll leave it there for now. RTM Tongana reporting to us live from Bishop Lavis in Cape Town. Some very important issues raised there that indeed, as she just said, is being experienced by schools in other parts of the country as well. So do look out for that response from the official office bearers a little later on.